guys, Ashley from Ash Cash Budget here, and I feel like a monster because I just kicked my cat out of the chair so that I could sit in it for this video. So I was watching one of Freedom in a Budget's recent videos, and I commented and she suggested that I go ahead and make a video along those lines of the video she did. So here is the 5 things that I would like to tell myself before I started my debt-free journey. Things that I wish I could have known. So she did this as a collab with Morgan from A Joyful Home, and so it was Kelly and Morgan that did this collab, and I thought it was a really great idea, so I went ahead and did it when she put that out there. And I really love their videos. A lot of the stuff that they said is things that I definitely wish I could tell myself as well. So I don't want to be too redundant. I do have a couple things that are going to be like the ones that they suggested, but you should definitely check out their videos because I don't want to give away the 5 things that they chose. But I definitely agree, and I wish I could put every single one of those on this list because they're so very, very good points of things that I wish I would have known before I started this debt-free journey. So I want to know as well, will you guys let me know down below what you would tell yourself before you started, or the things that you believe it could have helped you through this process. Just leave a comment down below what you guys think. So the first one that I have is also shared by both Kelly and Morgan. So it's to have a budget, and how we were not budgeting before we started our debt-free journeys. That we need to have a budget, that is very important. It definitely has shaped the way that I have been able to start paying off debt. And I know for the both of them, it has definitely helped with the way they spend their money and the way they pay off their debt. And just in life in general, budgeting has become very important because it helps a lot. And Kelly was like me, where I thought I was budgeting when I would subtract all this bills that I had, and I had money left over, and I'm like, oh, so I have $100 left over. As long as I save the rest for my bills, I have this $100 to do whatever with. And man, it was not working out. It was not working out. So budgeting, change the way you budget. That is what the number one thing, the first thing that I would tell myself is that you need to learn how to actually budget. And I use the EveryDollar app as well. It's free unless you want to hook up your bank account. You can pay to do that, but otherwise it's free. I also show you guys the videos where I keep a running total of what is in my bank account and it subtract my bills from there. But to figure out my actual budget lines and how much I'm going to spend on other things outside of bills, I use EveryDollar. So I'd like to show you guys that if I can somehow as well. So number 2 is I would tell myself, don't take student loans for living expenses, because I think that is definitely where most of my debt is from. So I probably would have had to take some student loans to pay for a little bit of tuition at the end of my college career, but if I didn't take so much out, I would have much less student debt right now. But I took it out to make ends meet and to make sure my bills were paid. And I just wish I hadn't gone that route. I wish I wouldn't have taken out loans in order to pay my bills. Because if maybe I only took them out for just the tuition, maybe I would have half the amount that I have, $15,000 instead of $30,000 in student loans. But yeah, I wish I could go back in time and tell myself, don't do it. Don't try to make up for where income is lacking. Try to find some other ways. So that is number 2. Number 3 is another one that Kelly had on her list, but I completely believe in it 100%, is sinking funds. Okay, I love sinking funds right now. I use the Capital One 360 just like Kelly, and I'll have a link down below. If you don't have an account with them and start one up, you can get $20 And if you use my link, I'll get $20 as well, I think. But I decided to transfer all of my sinking funds into there, and it's great. I think that sinking funds are the way to go as far as budgeting for future items, because, you know, things are not an emergency. Car maintenance is not an emergency. I should know that there are going to be, of course, I do my regular oil changes, but there's going to be things that come up along the way. So I have a car maintenance sinking fund now, and it has already helped out a ton. That way I'm not touching my emergency fund, and of course, since I'm not using credit cards and not using debt anymore, it makes sure that I'm taking care of my car, at least for the stuff within that range. Now, if it was something way bigger, that might become an emergency. But regular car maintenance, getting things tuned up here and there, not an emergency. Sinking fund. Sinking funds for everything. Christmas is not an emergency. Yearly things like your registration, mine is every 2 years, but I plan on starting the sinking fund for that next year. Give myself a year to pay for that. Annual fees for other things, like if you have Amazon Prime or things like that. Sinking funds, because you want to make sure the money is there, but don't rely on your monthly budget to take care of it when it pops up, because there's always going to be other things. And I can't stress sinking funds enough, so I would definitely suggest that to my prior self because it's definitely helping me. And especially with my irregular income, I have that sinking fund for if I have a slow month, and I think that is going to help tremendously. Now, number 4, this is going outside of the financial part of it, but I would say to make sure that you have a support system. Now, all of you guys have been a great support system. All of the YouTube channels that I watch, they have been a great support system. But also, I would like to tell myself, don't be afraid to talk to other people about it. I was afraid to talk to people in my normal life about it, and I still keep some of it under wraps. I don't think they know that I'm involved on YouTube with you guys. Maybe they do and they're not telling me, but I have started opening up the dialogue, and a lot of the people that I'm closer to know that I'm trying to pay off my debts, and that is why I've made a change in where I'm taking food to work or things like that. And then, of course, my closer friends, I'm starting to open a dialogue to talk about my methods and what I am doing and how I am now budgeting. And I think that's important. Even if they make fun of you a little bit, knowing my friends, they kind of do sometimes. But, you know, it really opens it up, and it wasn't as scary as I originally thought it was going to be. I didn't get as much flack from other people as I thought I would. So I would tell myself, go ahead and open up. Go ahead and talk to people about it, because, you know, there's so many people that are walking the same path, that are going through with debt and are trying to pay it off their own ways. So maybe you can change somebody else's life with that. Or there's other people that have paid off their debts, and they'll talk to you about it and about how they feel about when they paid off, like their student loans and things like that. So have a support system. Don't be afraid to open yourself up to that. Sorry. Work has been, we've been moving shops, and I'm trying to hold back some sneezes because all that dust from the old shop, it's not going well with me right now. So number 5, the last one, is I would tell myself, don't just get discouraged if you have a slow month. One, you might have a slow month because of your irregular income. 2, you might have a slow month on your debt snowball because there are other priorities. But don't be disappointed. The fact that you're budgeting and changing the things in your life, if you put a budget down and you make way and you put a plan into place for these other things that have to be paid for, it's still an accomplishment, even if I'm slowing down. Like this month, I have to try to put some more money towards my car fund because I might need to be replacing the radiator. So we'll see about that. But I've been putting the money towards the car fund, and the month before that I was putting it towards my January fund, which is if I have a low income month fund I can use from that. And it's because I was building up these sinking funds and I kind of slowed down on the debt snowball. Last month I did the debt snowball amount, but nothing past it. This month I did not make that much money compared to previous months, so I only put the minimums. And sometimes it can be discouraging, but I would like to tell myself even now, don't be discouraged, because I still have a plan. I'm still making sure I keep to my budget, and I think in the future it'll all work out. And as long as I keep going and every step that I take, I am getting closer to paying off that debt. And as soon as time opens up in the next month or two, I can put anything extra towards that debt snowball and knock out maybe my next item on my debt snowball. So I hope that was good. That was my 5 things that I would have told myself, and I'm still telling myself that these things work. I'd like to know what you guys would like to tell your prior selves before you started your debt-free journey. And I'll go ahead and leave you little buttons if you'll subscribe, and I'll leave you a video that's suggested from YouTube for you, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.